Hello and welcome to today's HYDRA demonstration. My name is Priyash, co-founder of the Awareness Company, and today we'll be talking about proof of impact for agriculture as a solution. Let's jump straight in. Perfect. So the Awareness Company uses data to tell stories that are useful to humans, and today the story that we want to be talking about is for agricultural proof of impact. So there are three key main stakeholders within the solution. So firstly, there's the agricultural financiers. They are service providers, whether you're providing training, development, seed, fertilizer, any type of agricultural service, and they are the farms and farmers within the value chain. So we'll be talking about how to implement data storytelling across this value chain, and the goal is to mitigate and manage risk. So let's talk about the problem first. So fundamentally what we've seen is it's very difficult to measure the impact of the agricultural efforts of the service providers. There's a lot of time wastage and lack of trust, and all of that makes us reactive to risk. Something happens and then we react to that. There's not enough communication across the stakeholders, so between the financier, service provider, and the farmer itself, and that communication works both ways, from financier to farmer and farmer back to financier, with the service provider in the center. And there's no real-time tracking of data and insights of the projects, of the finance, and of the risk. And the reporting is all reactive, so it becomes an administrative burden, and there's no real insights on the farm and agricultural operations level. So to counter all of this, we have created a solution which is our existing software platform called HYDRA, which is AI-powered risk mitigation software. This software gives you fast, continuous, and real-time data across the value chain. We automate everything that can be automated, and it also comes with the operational monitoring aspect, which includes the precision agricultural component. This software then reduces your admin, lowers your effort, and gives you actionable insights on farm activities and on your risk. So it allows you to track the progress and fundamentally going back to helping you prove your impact, whether you're the farmer, the service provider, all back to the financier, and including the proof of impact for the financier. So insights across the agricultural value chain. So introducing HYDRA. HYDRA is our self-built AI-powered data storytelling software that enables organizations to understand data so easily that anyone within the organization and across organizations can use it to make better decisions and gain continuous insights. And this again spans across tactical, so on the farm level, on the agricultural business level, to operational, someone like a service provider providing services to the farms, and right up until your strategic levels, whether that's within the agricultural organization or from the financiers side. So just to orientate you what you're looking at here is a screenshot, and we'll jump straight into the demonstration after this. So you'll see a feed of information that's coming from multiple different places. So from people on the ground, so in the agricultural context, this could be your assessors, could be your agricultural extension officers, could be your agronomists, and it includes, of course, the farm on the farm level. So your farm workers, your farm owners, your farm managers, all of those people can then generate information into HYDRA. So the mechanism of doing that is threefold. You can do it from your laptops, your tablets, and so forth, from your mobile phones directly. So our mobile application also works offline, cognizant of the fact that in certain farm areas the connectivity is low, so you still can capture all of your information and it will get automatically synchronized back into the cloud. We show all location-based data. So in the demonstration you'll see dots on the map and lines showing movement of people and equipment and devices, and we can have different agricultural overlays like satellite-based monitoring as an example, coupled to the precision ag devices and sensors, including soil moistures, environmental, and so forth, depending on the commodity that you farm with. So for the proof of impact scenario, we'll be showing you a simple demonstration. So let's jump straight in. So here we are looking at HYDRA, I'm just going to start up the scenario. So the day starts off with our service provider inspector making his way to the farm. So this is how it will actually look. If the service provider has HYDRA app on his phone, you'll be able to have a look at movement in real time, and this is really important from a safety perspective. A lot of assessors, inspectors, agronomists, extension officers are moving around in the field, often in isolation, and safety is a very big concern. So our inspector has arrived at our Acme farm to speak to the farmer and to start the application process. So Acme Farm has applied for financing and our inspector has been sent out. So inspector has arrived and he's starting his conversation with farms, and the whole idea is that he's able to now create information in real time that gives everyone visibility. So you'll see here a farm owner assessment for a pre-qualification assessment of farm owner John Doe at Acme Farm for the start of the new funding year. Now a few key things to take note of. The timestamp and geolocation is automatically logged. Any supplementary information can then be attached, pictures, videos, documents, and so forth. But what's really important is the detailed information that can be logged regarding this particular assessment. So as our inspector makes his way to the farm to carry out his assessment, we'll have a look at all of the data. So all of this is interactive and clickable, all of the camps and so forth. So our inspector is doing that. We'll just focus on our data for a second. So the level of detail of data, including the farm owner, the reference type, and all of this type of information can be captured in as much detail so that it reduces the level of admin and also covers the missing data gap that we've seen in these use cases. So as our inspector is doing his assessment, we'll see another piece of information come through, that there's pre-qualification of assessment, and then further details can then be captured as well. Now to take note here, things like pest and disease and so forth, irrigation methods, irrigation types, all of that can be captured within HYDRA as well. And the number of equipment and previous histories and so forth, land access, and all of that can be completely captured. So our inspector is done with that assessment and he's making his way back to the office to complete the assessment. So while he's doing that, all of the insights that has been captured has already been analyzed and is already available in real time. So you can see, okay, there's a number of assessments taking place, of which this is one of them. Assessments by date, to look at the history, see if there's any patterns or trends that we want to discuss and communicate to the farmer itself. So as he makes his way back to the office, they will do further analysis, and the farmer then, the whole idea is that all of the information is then captured, and then there's real-time communication in terms of result assessment and so forth that can be done all digitally via the HYDRA application. So as more information comes through, we'll be able to see that. So assessments have been complete. The Acme farm is approved for this year, and there's a little certificate that has been applied in there. So at this stage now, there is no admin left to do in terms of data captured and so forth. Now what can happen is we can go through the budgeting process, the income, the expenses, and so forth. And the whole idea is that the software then lives now with the financier, service provider, and with the farmer itself. So a yearly plan for Acme Farm has then been submitted. It can all be done via the application in a very structured way in terms of, okay, I want to spend income on maize, on spinach, on cabbage, on fuel and oil, on salary, for the vet, and for electricity. Again, this is a simplified example just to show you how the software works, but all of this is now captured structurally. And then here we have the income detail as an example, and what's again valid is that all of this, you can see invoices and so forth, can be uploaded, is that we can immediately click here to say, okay, what are the insights on all of this data that is being captured in real time. So while that one loads, it's loaded, financial tracking, we can get the key insights again in real time. So what's great about this is we can start to make comparisons between previous activities. And you see now we've done an expense one that is coming through, and you say, okay, this is the expense type for fertilizer. Again, this is all visible. You can have your attachments in there, and then you'll see once this is done, just let this image load. Once this is done, from an income and financial tracking perspective, farm operational activities can then start being logged during the course of the season and so forth. So this means there's a lot of real-time data flowing and a lot of communication that is happening and taking place between the farmer, service provider, and also from the financier perspective. So whether it's plowing, or you can see different types of activities, planting activities, it all then gives data for us to input and come into the system that allows us to mitigate risk in real time. So again, going back now to the farming operations levels, again, you can see there's planting taking place, what crop, when was it scheduled, when was the estimated harvest period, and we can start thinking about forecasting as the farm progresses during the course of the season, as opposed to only doing it in the beginning and then reviewing at the end. So we want to use data to close the gap from a risk mitigation perspective, but it also gives the farmer a digital way of then working within the farm, and then allows the movement between how it's been working to precision agriculture as well. And again, I'll load these insights. All insights, whether it's on the financial tracking or farm activities, per field activity details, can then be captured in as much detail, and all of the outputs across different activities, whether it's financial tracking, whether it's on the assessments, or whether it's on the farming activities, is then completely automated for the users going forward. Cool. So this gives you a very simplified example of our proof of impact for agricultural solution, and we look forward to the next one. Thank you for watching.